Teri is a business success therapist, the founder of Creative Counseling Center and Talking with Teri, best-selling author of Be the Magic of You, Tools to Transform Your Life, with a foreword written by Jack Canfield. She has been featured on national television and a regular guest on various local Colorado TV stations. She's a coach with Forbes and host of Talking with Teri TV, a lifestyle show featuring various local celebrities and national influencers. She has her own YouTube channel with over 200,000 views. Creator and host of Breaking Beyond, a live audience event in partnership with Comedy Works that is unique, one-of-a-kind experience. Teri is a thought leader in female empowerment and entrepreneurship. She has combined her 27 years of counseling background with energy psychology, applied the principles of quantum physics to transform people's lives by clearing the unconscious blocks that hold us back. In the real world, Teri is an adrenaline junkie, including jumping out of planes, wannabe backup dancer, and she is pretty sure she was a mermaid in a past life. She comes with her own warning label, caution, may contain excessive energy. Please welcome Teri Karjala.
Hi, thank you. Am I on?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Well, thank you. Well, before Melissa goes anywhere, can we just get a big applause for Melissa for putting this on and keeping it going and all the volunteer work and she just graduated in December, by the way, with her master's degree. So I'm just saying, this lady is an amazing human being. Thank you. So good work. And thank you for all the volunteers who came here and helped set up this morning. This is fantastic. Now I'm being guided and told that I kind of have to be in this area. So I'm going to try my best for those viewers at home to honor that, okay? But like she said, I'm a business success therapist. And basically what that means is I help people step out of their old beliefs and into their new possibilities. And I absolutely love what I do. I wish that I could say, I was just talking to Kate earlier today, and I said, I wish I could say that I've always been confident, but that was not my story at all. I was actually extraordinarily shy, absolutely terrified of speaking. I grew up with this belief system that I was not good enough. My biological father used to say things like, Teri, you're a nobody, you're worthless, you're a piece of. And over time, those stories and those belief systems, you start to believe them. I got held back in second grade because of my dyslexia. And so not only did I get it from home, but I also got it from my students, because when the second graders went on to third grade, guess what? At the recess, they would say, Teri, you're so stupid, you couldn't pass second grade. And so when you hear stories like that, and no matter what those stories are, those stories start to have an impact on our lives in lots of different ways. And just the other day, I get the honor to work with my husband owns a softball team, or two of them, and I get to do mindset training for these girls. And I was sitting there listening and looking at all the thoughts, them write down all these negative thoughts that they were having about themselves. And I'm like, wow, at 12 years old, they were saying things like, I'm not good enough. I am stupid. I can't do this. And yet those belief systems typically still carry today. We still have some of those stories that we still take today, right? And so I'm going to share with you some simple, proven, highly effective tools and strategies today to help us move past to have a bigger impact in our sales and in our businesses and in our careers. And at the end of my talk, if this resonates with you, I'll have an opportunity for us to connect further. Does that sound good? And because many of us in this room have a limiting belief that is not serving us, it's actually holding us back personally or professionally, or it's holding us back from actually having those sales conversations, right? Some of us are addicted to self-sabotage, and I'm going to share with you a fun tool today to help eliminate that. And most of us, something isn't working, otherwise we'd have everything that we've ever dreamt of, yes? And all of us, we want more money, we want more clients, we want more freedom. For me, I want more shoes. Just kidding, no one else. tough audience today. But most importantly, what do we desire to have in here? We want to create more impact. Yes? For those at home, yes, more impact. Let me ask you this by a show of hands, and don't raise your hand if this is not true for you. Okay? I'm watching you. All right, I want you to think about how many of you truly, in your heart of hearts, want to make an impact in the world? Okay, perfect. Okay, whew. I was like, for everyone else, just please leave for now. Here's the thing is that a lot of us will say we want more impact. And yet we get ourselves into having that impact. And whether that impact is 50 people, 500 people, 5,000 people, 5 million people, 5 billion people, right? And I was talking to Kate, and we were talking about how energetically what is going on our planet right now, right? Our planet needs every single one of us right now in a way that we have never been stepping up to the plate before. We are being required to step into that light. We are being required to have that impact. Just in case you haven't, looked around the world yet, right? We are in this time of, and I was describing it as like, when the caterpillar goes into the chrysalis, right? We're in the chrysalis period right now. Like we're kind of like floppy, we're in this time of transformation, which is really exciting. And I hope to share with you how you can be a powerhouse in sales, because let me be honest, in order to have a bigger impact, we've got to be able to make sales and create in that way. So by a show of hands, and those at home, I want to see the hands too. How many of you love sales? Yes. Okay, we have like 4 people in here that love sales. Okay. And I think there's a lot of things that get in the way of us creating. I love that you love sales. I do too. I started to fall in love with sales, I should say, because I didn't always love sales. I was like, oh, right. And especially in most of our professions, we are coming from a heart-centered place. And when we come from a heart-centered place, we're like, oh, I should give this away for free. I should donate my time, right? And that's great. And there's an element of that in every business. And I remember seeing Lisa Nichols talk about this. She brought up a picture of a water, a clear pitcher. And she said, a lot of us, she starts pouring the water in the pitcher. And she says, a lot of us want to give when we're right here. And it's hard to give when you don't have it, right? And you go into a place of scarcity. But when she filled it up and the pitcher was overflowing, she's like, it's so much easier to give when you're in abundance. It's so much easier. So when we're filling our cups up, and then we can give from our abundance, we come from that place and space, and it's really a powerful place to be in, right? So today I'm going to share with you some tools with sales here. And my first question is, what comes up for you in sales? So on your handout in front of you, you have a question like, what comes up? What's the stories? And if anyone is vulnerable and want to share that, I would invite that to just shout that out. But what comes up when you hop on that sales call? What's the stories? I personally used to think, oh, I'm not smart enough. Oh, I don't know. Gosh, do I have enough to offer? Right? So on your paper, just write down that for yourself. What comes up for you in making those sales calls? Yeah. Yeah. What are the negative things that come up that block you from or stop you from? One of the things I was just speaking at an event a couple weeks ago, and one of the ladies says, well, the cold calls just sound awful. And I was like, what if we just twist and change the word cold call? Because I don't know about you, but I have never met a stranger, right? And so that's really, when I'm calling someone, what are we doing? What are we really doing? We're reaching out and connecting with someone, right? John was saying here earlier that I just come and I connect with people, right? And so what we're doing is connecting. So if we're going to call them if it's a CC call, a cold call, what if we just shift the energy of that and say it's a connection call? Just by shifting it, energetically, doesn't that feel amazing? Like, oh, I'm going to make a connection call today. Like just that one little twist, right? Doesn't that just shift it for you? Yeah. Anyone want to share? Yes.
I think of stepping into a cold swimming pool. And at first, it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
It's just going to be cold. But then once you get used to the water, you're okay.
Yes. And I'm a mermaid, and so thank you for speaking my language. We in our community, we have a hot tub and a pool that's open year round, and so I go there like 3 to 4 times a week. And so I'm always in the hot tub, and then I pop over to the pool, and people are like, "Oh, the pool!" And I'm like, you know what? And I have found, okay, in my mermaid experience, it's 3 seconds before the body fully acclimates to the new temperature. It's 3 seconds. It's 3 seconds. We can do things for 3 seconds. Yes. Thank you for saying that. I love it. And then who comes up on the call? So for me, back in the day, I used to get really nervous being on a call or being put under the, whatever it was. So Revi showed up for me. And that's what I called her. I called her Revi because she revved up my body, right? She was this anxiety. And so having emotions are absolutely 100% okay. They're actually designed by our internal guidance system. They're actually designed to keep us safe. Actually, if I'm walking down a dark alley at night, I want to experience a little bit of fear. Why? Because fear activates, makes me alert, makes me, right? And I'm now going, okay, I need to get my keys out. I need to know where, I need to be alert. I need to be, right? So we want to have some of that, okay? So it's not like we're going to eliminate all of that. So what happened though, Revi, so from a scale from 0 to 10, Revi for me was like a 9 most of the time. Is that level beneficial harmful or helpful? Harmful. 5, harmful or helpful? Yeah, I kind of like to be between the 2 and 4, 2 and 3 mark, because that's really a healthy, helpful way to be, okay? So why I'm sharing this with you is on your paper, you have a place that says, who shows up for you? So is that the Debbie Dowder? Is that the negative Nancy? Is that who is that? And I'm gonna share one of my clients. He had Richard Cranium show up all the time. So Richard, if you deduce that, right? What's the short term for Richard? and what's another word for cranium? And so that's who would show up for him, right? So when I started creating a relationship to Revi, okay, for Revi, when she showed up, I would say, hello, Revi. Good to see you. Thank you for showing up, because here's the thing. When that emotion takes over, that is here to support us. And those emotional responses, do you realize that the brain takes 90 seconds for the brain to process that emotion? That's it, 90 seconds. So Revi would show up for me, and I would get so nervous, and I didn't know what to do, and then I was like, okay, Revi, thank you for showing up. When you acknowledge her or him, it dissipates it. And then I would thank her for showing up, because she's the only person in the entire world that is going to show up and have my back 1010%. And sometimes she overdoes it, okay? And so I would thank her, and then I would say, Revi, and I would do a declaration. Revi, I got this. And just by that, and then I set some boundaries with her. I gave her 2 minutes of my talk. The first 2 minutes, I would give her to do my talk, right? The first 2 minutes on the sales, whatever it was. And now she's lazy. She doesn't show up. She sleeps in. She didn't even show up today. I'm like, you guys don't get to see Revi, right? Do you see where I'm going with this? So I'm going to invite you to start playing with this when you're starting to make those calls, or whether you're being seen. And one thing is about sales, where we're talking about sales today and being a powerhouse in sales, but this is also about how you show up and present to the world, right? Someone asked me when I was getting a cup of tea up there, they're like, are you in sales? And I said, we're all in sales. We're selling every day. I am selling right now. I am selling how I dressed. We are selling every single moment of our time when we're around people, okay? All right, so moving into, I want to give you some tangible tools today so I was mentioning earlier, there's 2 ways to build a business. There's the marathon, the connections, the collaborations, the networking, it just takes a really long time, okay? And I think all businesses need both. The other one is the sprint. So we got the marathon and we got the sprint. The sprint is either through funnel systems, and if you don't have a funnel system, that's through speaking, okay? And so how you can create a bigger impact. I'm a big believer in speaking to help support your mission, to help support your vision, right? So once you move out of that and you have now leads coming in, okay? We're not going to talk about the lead generational today. But once you have those leads coming in, how do I start to close those clients? And I saw like 3 of you that like sales, and you're like, yay. So I am going to come from an energetic perspective. That is my training. That is my background. And so we're going to have some fun today. Are you guys open to having some fun today? Okay. So before the call, can you guys give me 5 minutes of your time before a sales call? And I do recommend being intentional with your sales calls. So book them out. Most people, research has shown sales calls, when do you think the best time is for sales calls, by the way? Time of day. Yes, you got it, Renee. It's in the morning. Between 9 and 11 o'clock is the best time because more people will say yes during those times in the afternoon. So guess when you should book your sales calls? In the morning, okay? So before your sales calls, in your handout on the second page there, it goes through Imagine. So I'm going to invite us to play in this place of possibilities, right? Of imagining what you can create, imagining the impact that you can have. So the first I, so imagine is IMAGINE for those at home, right along with us. I stands for intentions. What are your intentions with this call? What are you speaking life into on this call? And being intentional also means carving out the time. So many of my clients that I've worked with in the past, they'll just be like, oh, I'm just going to take a sales call right now. I'm in the car driving my kids to, dropping them off to, whatever practice. They're not into it, right? The other person senses that. It's distracted, chaotic energy, right? So be intentional with creating the space for those calls, getting in your frame of work. What are you speaking life into? I'm going to show up with, the reason why I created the daily intentions planners was so that we can start to create and generate and speak life into things that we desire. So I'm a big believer in starting your day the night before, because when you start to write down your intentions the night before, especially the last 45 minutes of your night, your brain processes that information 7 times more than it does any other time of day. You actually start to speak life into it. The universal molecules start to activate it and starts to bring it in. So how many of you have experienced those moments where you're like, I need to call John, I need to call John, I need to call John. And then I call, and then I receive a phone call, or you call, and John's like, I was just thinking about you. And we think that's a miracle, right? What if I told you could actually create that every day, all day long? Super juicy, because we're being intentional about it, right? So being intentional, the M stands for mental engagement. So we want to get your brain engaged. And so I'm going to invite all of us to stand up, and I'm going to demonstrate this exercise, okay? And one of the best ways to get the brain engaged, because all of us at any given time, because you, ladies and gentlemen, were just writing, you guys were activating your left hemisphere, okay? If I had you doing something else, you'd be activating your right hemisphere, right? So we're always engaging the left or the right hemisphere. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your hands and go like this. You can do this at home too. And if your thumb, okay, so if your left thumb on top is, you're my lefties, okay? And it doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed, okay? It doesn't matter about that. If your right thumb is on top, you're my righties, okay? Now, if you're like this, keep going, baby. Keep going, commit, okay? So I should have my lefties and my righties, okay? So my righties, I'm gonna have your hands out like this. So only the righties, that thumb's on top righties. Where's my righties? Okay, just a few. Oh dear, only a few. Okay, so if your thumb is on top of your right, I want you to put your hands out like Frankenstein. Your right hand goes over your left at your wrist, twist down, and then hold up like this, and then right leg goes over it at your ankle, or if you're sitting down, it's at your knee, okay? Or whichever one you feel more comfortable. Okay, pause and hold. Kate, are you righty? That's okay. You know what? Let's do that again. Ready? So that's okay. Here, can I? Yep. Oh, you got it. You got it. Perfect. That's kind of like That's like the advanced move. Okay, so now my lefties, same thing but different. Okay, so out like here, left over right, twist down at your wrist, grab and hold, and then left leg over your right. Now, I want you to hold this for a minute, and a minute's a really long time. I am 100% fake Italian, and I cannot do this without talking with my hands. So you stay put. I have to unhook because I can't talk that way. Whew, that was really tough to say that. Okay, so what this is basically doing is going down in creating a line between our hemispheres. We're activating the left and right hemispheres. We're actually activating the corpus callosum, which is the white matter between our two hemispheres. It's the bridge between. So we're activating this. So why this is so important, when we hop on a call, this is actually activating the reptilian part of the brain, which is bringing up information to our frontal cortex. The frontal cortex is where we make decisions. It's where we make choices. So we're actually activating all of this juiciness. Now, if you have a hard time falling asleep, I'll teach you some other places. You can do this before you go to sleep, and it will actually calm your brain, and you'll fall asleep, okay? The other places is if you have a hard time remembering something, like, oh, I'm going to forget da-da-da-da-da-da, or that person's name is on the tip of my tongue. If I hook up within seconds, it will come back to you. It's genius. Okay, so after you, I'm going to pretend like that's a minute, okay? So unhook your legs, unhook your hands, and then you're just going to hold like this. I will let you guys sit down for the next one. You're like, whew. So fingertips, and then you can go ahead and sit down, and you're going to hold this for a minute, okay? So that's called the whole brain hookup, and this is actually really, really great for your brain in keeping it engaged and having that information so that you're really on, if you will, on that conversation. Yes? Yeah. Okay. So you get to bring all your juiciness forward to you. The next piece is the A is activate. I'm going to invite us to activate. Some of you, I remember you were here last time I spoke. Do you guys remember the 33-second exercise? How many of you still do it? So the activation is we want to get into a vibration that matches what we're creating and desiring. All of us have everything that we have in our life right now is a vibrational match. And the reason why I know that is because it's in your life. So vibrations, the universal law of vibration, says that like attracts like. So everything that's in your life, whether that's your quality of your relationships, the house you live in, the car you have, all of that is a vibrational match. And guess what? Everything that we desire is outside that vibrational match. Okay? Does that make sense? So in order for us to get there, we must become a vibrational match to what we desire. Does that make sense? So one of the fastest ways that I have found is getting into and getting excited by creating that. So last time I was here, Jeremy and I think Renee, you were a part of this. We did this really fun exercise. It's called the 33-second exercise. So I'm going to actually have you all stand up. We're going to do this. We're going to look silly together. And can I get your name? Oh, and poor Jazz. Like Jazz comes back after all these years and he's like, this is what I come back to? I mean, here it is. Okay, so, but you're going to play along with us, aren't you? All right, so I want you to imagine, and we're going to act as if we're already celebrating what we desire, okay? So for example, when people ask me, how did you get Jack Canfield to write your forward? I did a lot of different tools, but one of them was this one right here. And I acted as if I already received his forward, right? And so this is what it would look like for me in the bathroom mirror. It was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Jack Canfield just wrote my forward. He just wrote my forward. And my daughter would come in and she'd be like, Mom, Jack Canfield just wrote your forward. And I'm like, I know. What she doesn't realize is that anytime more than one person is having a shared thought, you actually square that thought. And so she was actually helping activate the manifestation of Jack Canfield writing my forward. Now, when the day called, it was so funny because the day that he forwarded forwarded the forward to me. My daughter, I came home and I picked up my daughter, and my daughter goes, I said, guess what? And I usually say that. I mean, every time I pick my daughter, I'm like, guess what? And she says, Jack Canfield just wrote your forward. She was so in alignment with the energy that she could actually tell when it happened. It was really powerful. So, are you guys ready to play along? 33 seconds. We're just going to get excited and act as if it's already happened. So if you want to give some people some high fives, you're welcome. You don't have to stick in your around. You can dance around. You can jump around. You can have fun. Let's celebrate whatever that is. Whether it's a big deal, whether you're on an Oprah magazine, whether you're, celebrating more clients, whether that's you just got married, you just celebrated your master's degree, whatever that is for you, you get to create that and play with it. Yes? Here we go. 33 seconds. Ready, set, go. Oh my gosh, yes! Congratulations! Oh my gosh, congratulations on that new job! He just got accepted! Oh my gosh, congratulations! Woo! Yes, congratulations! Congratulations! Oh my gosh, Renee, congratulations! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh! I'm so proud of you! How much better can I get? How much better can I get? Oh my gosh! How much better can I get? How much better can I get? How much better?
Here with the million.
Stop. Now, I know that was really silly, okay? When you do this at home, your spouse or significant other will think you've lost your mind. For me, that's already happened, so it's okay. Now, when you do this at home also, if you have animals or furry friends, they're going to celebrate with you. They're going to help you co-create, okay? And I'm going to invite you to play with this. Now, real quick, what did that feel like? I just see smiles. I hope you guys can see that at home. Look at these people. Beautiful. Okay. What was that like? It's contagious. What did you say, Renee? It's energetically. Yeah, it's energy. Here's the thing is we are activating that energy within ourselves, right? Can you guys do 33 seconds a day? Yeah. It's activating and you will manifest faster if you're in the vibration of that in which you desire. Now, some people will say, well, I'm more of an intimate, person and you can also do that too. You can put your hand on your heart and activate love and gratitude. Love and gratitude are the highest frequencies. So you can also do this internally as well and activate that, okay? We want to activate into that vibration because guess what? Like attracts like. So if I'm on a connection call and I have my person that is in the same vibration as me, is that sales call going to be easier or harder? I mean, it is so juicy. Like people will be like, I don't know. I've had so many calls before. I'm like, I don't care what you're selling. I want it. And I'm like, well, I do this energy testing and I don't take everyone, and they're like, what? You don't take me? I'm like, no. I mean, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm really picky because I have a brand, I have this, I have a reputation. I don't take on everyone, right? And so then and then I'm like, okay, yes, I will. Then you get to be, right? Does that make sense? You guys loving this? We're halfway there. Okay. So the G is for grounding energy. Once we have activated it, we want to ground that energy so we're not like la 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 la, right? So when you do, just close your eyes and you can just imagine a lot of you have different ways that you ground. I like to ground just imagining either a white light or just like a tree root going down my body, down through the ankles, down through my feet, all the way down into the core universe, down to the planet. And I also will activate, and what I do is I'll take a white light and just imagine, the hot magma down there. It activates it. It brings it back to like source light energy, and then bring that energy, my highest being, my highest knowing, bring that energy back up through all the layers, back through my feet, all the way back up from my head, all the way out, and then I take it up out of my head and connect it to source energy. Okay, so however you ground your energy is a-okay. So just ground your energy. And then the second I represents instantly remove self-sabotage. Now, I got all of you, ladies and gentlemen, to stand up and scream at nothing. So I hope I can take you into this next exercise because this is where I may get kicked out. Okay, all right. So this is called a clearing exercise. And so what I want you to do is I want you to tap right here. There's like 5 steps. If you're interested in this, I am happy to email this to you, okay? So I want you to tap right here. This is called the karate chop in EFT, or I guess that's what's mostly known as. You can tap on left or right, and it's right here. So your pinky, go down. So for those at home, you're watching that. You can go like this. You can go like this. Okay, we're just activating this right here. And I don't want people counting this, but at least 7 times. Okay, but I don't want you counting it, so don't count it. Type A's. Type A's, I forget, I apologize, I said that. But this is reversal. So if most of you are familiar with muscle testing, so if I were to muscle test someone, if they're in self-sabotage, they will go weak, right? And so this will actually keep them strong just by doing this, okay? Then I want you to take, this is where it gets weird, and I want no stink eye. No stink eye, promise? Pinky promise? No stink eye? No stink eye, like look, like what is she doing? The stink eye? You don't know the stink eye? Okay, he's gonna stink eye me. Okay, I'm gonna avoid. Okay, so I want you to take these 2 fingers and thumb, and I want you to put them right here on your K27. So your collarbone's here. You're gonna go down an inch and over an inch. So it's right there. Okay, and then this is where the stink eye may get activated. I want you to take your other hand and I want you to put your finger in your belly button. I got people to do this. No, just kidding. So what this does, and you're just going to rub your fingers right here, just a couple of seconds for this K27, and you're looking at me like, what just happened? And you're like, why did I come back to this? And then we're going to switch. So the K27 is actually your master tonic place. It helps reduce psychological distress, all that stuff. The finger in the belly button, what that does is actually that is connecting. There's a 100 million neurons in your belly button. It is actually the connection between our mind and our gut. It's absolutely fantastic. It hooks up it hooks up our body, if you will. Now, the next spot I want you to tap is right here underneath your nose. This is your governing vessel. This governing vessel goes from here. Your meridian goes from here all the way back. Okay, if you think about the yin and yang, this is your yang. We're activating the yang, okay? And we're going to tap this like 50 times. So type A people, if you kind of need some awareness around this, I usually take my other hand and say, that's about 10. That's about 10, okay? That's about 10. If you do 48, I promise you will not disappear. If you do 52, you will not explode, okay? It's okay, it's safe. And then after we're done that, we're going to tap right here. This is your central vessel. So this meridian goes from here all the way down. So this hooks us up in the direction. This would be your yin, if you will, so hooking up the yin and the yang, right? So after you do this, and then we're going to do about 50 times that's as well. And what this does is helps you completely get out of self-sabotage. It is powerful exercise. So if you do this, and I encourage people to do this at least 5 times a day and do 2 rounds. I will do this until I yawn. That's my indicator, okay? And so if I didn't yawn, I would do another round of that. Now, we spend 5 months in our, yes, thank you. We spend 5 months at a stoplight in our lifetime, okay? So when I see a stoplight comes up, here's my steering wheel. I will start tapping right here. When I'm at the stoplight, I break it. I do this, and then when it starts to turn, I do this. I do take a look at both directions because at one point, there's going to be someone else tapping with me at the stoplight for those 5 months, and I'm going to be like, ah! So I'm going to invite you to join the crowd on that, okay? So it's a funny exercise, but it's powerful, and just notice what happens and notice what shifts when you start to use it, okay? And then the next one is now visualize. So N stands for now visualize. And visualizing it is something in a different way. Oftentimes when we're on a sales call, I am looking at Kelly. So we imagine when I'm on a phone call, even though they're not there with us, or if you're on a Zoom call, I don't usually do sales calls on Zoom calls, but if you were, you're looking at the other person, right? Naturally, we imagine that, right? So we're looking like this. What I'm going to invite us to do is visualize. So you close your eyes, and I want you to visualize, instead of looking at the person like this, I want you to bring the person next to you. And then imagine you guys, so you're like, almost like in a car, right? You guys are driving this direction together. So it's not me and them. I'm not against or for, I'm with. Does that make sense? So just imagine closing your eyes and just imagining and visualizing that piece of it. And it will shift the energy of that call, okay? And then the other thing that I do invite you to do along with this is, can I have a volunteer? Kate, you're still here. Can I have you come and join me for a second? Okay. Oh, good, good. Well, welcome back to the party. Okay, fantastic. Look at that. It's like you won $1 million. Okay. Okay, so yay! I hope that's the response people have with me. Okay, so so from an energetic perspective, all of us will create energetic barriers. And it's a way to protect ourselves from other people, right? And so oftentimes we go into sales calls with our barriers up, or if we're on the receiving end, how many of you are like, this Anderson's by home is calling me again? Like, I'm just kidding, because that was just recently. Your barriers go up because you're like, I'm going to be sold to, right? So our barriers, we will have energetic barriers. And I'm going to demonstrate this. So Kate, I don't want you to push me over, okay? But I'm going to push against you, okay? And I'm pushing against her. She's pushing against me. When I drop my barriers, what just happened? She moved in, if we had a reaction camera, she moved in, and then she what? And I did the same thing, okay? Energetically, thank you so much, Kate. I appreciate that. So this is the concept that I'm trying to get to with you, is when we drop our barriers, we actually create space. We create neutrality. Energy loves neutrality. So what I invite you to write down on your paper is barriers down 3 times. So barriers down, barriers down, barriers down. And barriers down from all lifetimes, realities, and dimensions. I can actually say that in here and you guys will not look at me weird. The other stuff might have been weird, but so I'll repeat that. Barriers down, barriers down, barriers down, barriers down from all lifetimes, realities, and dimensions. And when I drop my barriers, I now come from a neutrality. Now I can come from a place to receive. Right? Makes sense? Is this juicy? You guys loving these insiders? Yeah? Okay. You haven't left yet, Jazz, so whew. Here we go. You're my monitor here. And the last one is E. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yes. From all lifetimes, realities, and dimensions. And then the last one is E, is energetic and generative questions. And what this is, I am not an affirmations person at all, because affirmations, we could go into a deep dive into that conversation. I don't have time, but afterwards, if you want to have a conversation, we can have that conversation. But basically, when we have affirmations and they are not true, if I say I'm a Godzillionaire and I am not a Godzillionaire, your unconscious is going to fight against that all day long, and we can go into the brain science behind that later. But when we ask a generative question, your brain, we activate the reticular activation system. We activate the energy of it. And what happens now is the brain starts to find evidence to support it. So let me give you an example. Why is it so easy for me to close more business? I wonder what it would be like to have a bigger impact. I wonder what it would be like to have more clients. I wonder I wonder what it would be like to have a full caseload. Why is it so easy for me to create $1 million company? Why is it so easy for me to give back to my community? Why is this? And whatever that question is, now we're inviting in the possibility of that. Does that make sense? So I'm going to invite you to start using energetic questions. So when you're on that sale, or before you hop on that sales call, why is it so easy for me to show up and add value to this person's life? Whether they become a client or not it's irrelevant. Someone yesterday, I didn't think it was a sales call, so I didn't come in with that mindset. And then it turned into a sales call, and I was like, wasn't not prepared for that. And she was like, she goes, you are a multiplier what did she, I think that was, she's like, you're a multiplier. And I'm like, what does a multiplier mean? And she's like, well, you just gave so much value to me. You're like, you helped me out. And of course, I'm like, of course I'm going to. Like, I want to help people, like, right? And so then because I gave her value, it was juicy value. It's like how to take your podcast to a number one thing. And she's like, I want to work with you. And I was like, oh, I didn't share that to get you as a client. Like, I just shared that to help you as a human, right? And so it was just really interesting. Like, we can be that, right? And it just becomes like you become a human magnet for those possibilities. Yeah, juicy stuff. Okay, so during the call, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but you have the cheat sheet in front of you of what those questions are. The reason you ask these questions in this order is because it is designed on how we buy. It's cognition to emotion. And so if you understand how people buy emotionally, that's how you want to. So these questions are structured in that way to help you convert more clients, more opportunities, and possibilities. And then after the call, on your handout, there's a few things in there. Obviously, I want you to celebrate, and I want you to celebrate. This is going to sound weird. I want you to celebrate a yes, and I want you to celebrate a no. When we have no attachment to the outcome, and we can be open to a yes and open to a no, it is a beautiful thing, right? Because that no is going to take you to your next yes, and that no is going to open up possibly another door. So instead of being like, I suck at this, they said no, I'm like, oh, yay, perfect, we said no. I have an answer, we can move on, it might open up other doors. And so then you can create that neutrality of not attaching an outcome to it. Document the evidence. Our journals are over there for documenting the evidence, is to help support business owners to do this. Create a plan for follow-up if needed, okay? So if they're like, yeah, let me get back to you, I need to talk to my spouse, I need to talk to the business owner or whatever, create a follow-up. Put that in your CRM, put that in your calendar, make sure that you follow up. Most people stop after how many, take a guess how many people stop after how many follow-ups? What? Most people stop after one. Two, it's like another, It actually takes 7 to 10 touch points before someone knows and likes and trusts you. So don't stop after the 1 or 2 or 3, right? You can be kind. You're not, again, it's an opportunity for you to have that conversation. And then execute your sales system. I always invite people to under promise and over deliver. It is a practice to follow by, under promise, over deliver, and people will love you and they become your sales, fans, and they will refer people over and over and over and over. That's why I only work with certain people, because I have a reputation to uphold, and I'm not going to work with someone who's going to be needy, whiny, wanty. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I want the people that elevate, right? We're taking a client right now. She just hit her 600,000 mark. By end of April, she will take her company over $1 million mark. So she just hired 3 more people. That's what we needed to take her over to the $1 million mark, right? That's how juicy that can get. And then review and improve. So off that phone call is take a moment. Okay, what worked, what didn't work? Just do a quick, like what worked, what didn't work? What do I get to, improve on the next time? Okay? Powerful stuff, yes? How was this? That was like a fire hose on side of a fire hose okay. So I wanted to give as much as I possibly could, because here's the thing is I am committed to making a huge impact in this world. And my job is to help activate the other light workers so that you can go create your impact. And the more that we do this and we have this beautiful time in this world right now, every single one of you chose this lifetime, this time, as crazy as that could be, to be an activator in what we're creating. And you're all here for a big reason and big purpose. So I'm excited to be in front of you all. In front of you, you have a connection card. That is the fastest and most easiest way to connect with me. If you want to join me and connect with me, and for those at home, if you want to connect with Melissa and her reach out, I'm happy to connect with you in that way. But your name, your phone number, your email, and your address. People always ask me, why do you need your address? If you write legibly, like I'm a 4-year-old, and if you provide your entire address, I will stalk you. No, I'm just kidding. I will send you something in this this really fancy blue box that's called snail mail. I love, my love language is gift giving. So if you write your address, I will send you a little thingy in the snail mail, okay? And then if you want to hop on a call, these are the calls for the people that want to have a big impact. They're like, yes, that's me. You're speaking my language. I'm getting myself in my way. I would love some support on helping me get out of my way so that I can create a bigger impact, close more calls, and create that impact. Check that box if that is you. Don't check that box if that's not you. The second piece, and by the way, Mary, my assistant, my communications director and my producer, she will reach out to you. So if you do check that box, she will be reaching out to you to connect on that call. And then the second box is, yes, I'd like to have a free gift. I will send out the self-sabotage clearing exercise. So if you want that, grab that. And then the last one is if you know of an organization or a business for me to speak at. I love that input. At the bottom, that's a connection for them. So if you have a connection, I'd love that. And with that, I want everyone to stand up. Put your hand on your heart and just repeat after me. I know I am here for big stuff. I choose to know that I am committed to that big stuff. And my big stuff starts today. Give yourself a round of applause. Thank you all. Have a blessed day, and I will be here. I have products over there as well as our event information. So if you're interested in hearing more about the event, please reach out to me. The event is basically a cross between a live event meets a TED Talk meets Oprah in connection with Comedy Works. So if you're interested in leveling up your business in a bigger way, let's connect. Thanks, everyone.
All right. How about another big hand for Teri Karjala? Thank you very much. Okay. Is there anyone here today for their first time at BHS? Coming back after a while.
Yeah. Revived. Hi. Well, I was able to introduce myself a little bit there, but Teri, thank you so much. I actually want to be standing where Teri's standing and being able to share my message. And I think that's what we need in the world of people finding their voice and be able to share it. So I'm really inspired that you have built what you have. And that's actually what I want to know is how did you do it? And I can see you have a lot of power and energy, but how did you actually, the actual practical steps that you went through in implementing your ideas? So bravo to that. And great to be back. Wonderful. Thank you again for the organizers to keep this ball rolling. So
Thanks, Jazz. All right. How about shout outs? Anybody doing any business with each other? Well, there's opportunities there to have a connection afterwards in the networking time and have a cup of coffee.
Actually, I give a shout.
I want to make a shout out to a lady that was here about a month ago. Her name is Rachel, and I've been working with her to help set up an Airbnb in my home. And I certainly commend her for just supporting me in that process.
Thanks, Joe. All right. Thanks, Kelly.
Shout out to Kelly right in front of me. Thank you so much for keeping our happy hours going. I had so much fun the other night. We went to Green Mountain and we've got another one on the books for Bar Louie. So thank you for organizing. It was such a lovely time. It was, yeah, it was a really good event. So
And
I
we
love
have
happy
new
hours.
people.
Yeah, we had new people. Yeah.
Are joining us for meetup. Just got in here.
7 a.m. That's the number one complaint I hear. 7 a.m. That's early. And then we were dancing and singing and laughing and tapping. Good God. All right. That was amazing. They don't know what they're missing, do they? All right. So our next coffee and or cocktails in connection is Wednesday, March 27th at Bar Louie over in Lakewood, Belmar. Great little gastro bar, great food and drinks. We're going to do a happy hour there. Flyers are on the table. Speakers, tell us a little bit about what's coming up.
Sure. So our next meeting, we will have Dr. Shay Osana. She is a network spinal therapist, and she's going to be talking about how we connect our body with Mother Earth and how that can just help us in our daily lives. And then we have Chris Natsky. Does anyone know who Chris is? He'll be talking to us about breakthrough sales. And he's a black belt martial artist. So he's going to combine martial arts with business sales. And let's see who else we have. I'll just keep it at those two for right now. But if you want to see the lineup, you can go on to our website, businesshonoringspirituality.org. Should I pray out? Any questions? Nope. Okay, I'm going to pray us out, and we have about a half hour of networking. You want to stand up? Okay, you can. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. It's just a blessing to be here in this sacred space together, learning about how to be a powerhouse in sales and impact our lives and impact our clients. I'm so grateful for Teri's message today, and I'm so grateful for everyone here shining their light and beyond their self, beyond Lakewood, Colorado, beyond Colorado, and throughout the nation and the planet and the universe. We really need that light right now. And I'm so grateful we have this space to connect. And I just validate that we walk our day and we walk our week in spirit, and we are strong and we are confident, and we've got this. And so it is. All right, let's party.